Yeah, yes, ma'am, the meeting has started. You can.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear us clearly. Welcome to the next generation of learning and development virtual classroom. Hello, Gavin. Hosted by OneConnect and Class Technologies. Today, we're hoping everyone that's joined us will discover more on how Class transforms your training through their platform that's designed for hybrid learning and teaching on Microsoft Teams and Zoom. Our speakers today are Massimo Gentili from Class Technologies. He's the General Manager of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And he'll be taking us through basically how this new school of virtual classrooms has been applied in other industries in the corporate world. And then we have Carl Francis from OneConnect. He's our senior solutions engineer, and he'll be taking us through how this technology actually works in the real world. I'm Ponko Monde. I am head of marketing at OneConnect Solutions. We are a technology solutions company with solutions that range from integration solutions to business solutions to talent management and sourcing solutions to then what we're talking about today, education technology solutions. I will then now hand over to Massimo to kick things off for us. Thank you. Massimo, you're on mute.
Okay, and now I
Thank
should
you.
be able
Yes, we
to
can
make
hear you.
myself
Yes.
heard. Okay, very good. So thank you very much, Paul, for the introductions and actually for helping coordinating this interesting, hopefully interesting event, for our attendees. So I'm the general manager of Europe, Middle East, and Africa for Class Technologies, which is a US-based company. Our focus is virtual classroom solutions. That's why you see a title saying next generation L&D virtual classroom. So our goal actually is to develop a platform, a product that is going to take our customers, in the corporate sectors, in different corporate sectors, to the next level compared to what they're doing today with video conferencing tools. So I will walk you through some slides to give you an idea of what Class is, what Class does today. And then my colleague, Carl from OneConnect, our primary partner for Africa, is going actually to walk you through a demonstration of our product. So let me just, make a quick introduction first. We see, there are lots of studies out there, especially after the pandemic, that actually prove that, students in higher educations expect that the future will be somehow hybrid in nature, meaning that going physically to the office is not going to be just the primary expectations. How the work actually is going to be performed. They expect that it's going to be hybrid. Hybrid means that they're going to be using technology to have a virtual communication and collaboration. And this is happening. I mean, there is this research for Times Higher Education across universities in several countries, which I invite you to download from our website, that says very clearly that these are the expectations, this is the perceptions. And actually, Zoom itself had actually commissioned a report to Qualtrics, and there is a research that says that this is actually what's happening today. There is already this hybrid mode, to deliver, to do learning and development programs that is actually taking place. So, and there is actually an even higher request for platforms that can support this type of methodology for delivery. If we look at the way, this is primarily delivered today, you see that normally you have either in person or web conference, right? And we're not against the in-person activities, absolutely. I mean, this is extremely important because there are lots of benefits on there, but then there are challenges. At the same time, when we use just a web conference and we try to transpose online what we do in a physical room, then there are challenges over there as well, but benefits. In person, the benefits are normally around, how interactive this can be, how engaging this can be. An instructor, that comes into a room and start talking, sharing content, start engaging with the learners in the room, is going to get their attention. And, but the challenge of that, this is expensive, it's not scalable. You have a limited, time. You need to repeat the session as is. When you go to a web conference, obviously, the challenges could be that there is low engagement because maybe they don't participate a lot, the learners don't participate a lot in their interactions, they could get distracted. It could end up being just like watching in a very passive way a video. The benefits is extremely scalable, it's cost effective. You can train at the same time several people, even based in different countries. They don't need to move, actually, and you don't need to move around your instructors. So what happened is this, we created Class 4 years ago, and Class has the ultimate goal to take all the benefits that you can have in an in-person type of activity and what you could have with a web conference, put them together, develop a platform with functionalities that can support all these benefits and bring it out there to the market. This is our primary goal, and this is what we have developed. So we have launched actually now this, we call it Class for Business because we have a Class for Education and a Class for Business. Class is actually focusing on both sectors, right? But today we're here to focus on the L&D because they have different requirements. Although the platform is extremely flexible, you can even switch on and off some areas of functionalities that you don't require, while you can keep what really makes sense for you. Class is a platform that is actually built on top of either Zoom or Teams. We know that, we started out with Zoom 4 years ago, and then a couple of years ago, we actually announced the global partnership with Microsoft. That's why we developed the virtual classroom also to be sit on top of Teams, on Microsoft Teams. So we use, let's say, the video conferencing component of those platforms, and we put on top our platform that is going to extend completely, the experience and the areas of functionalities. Class can deliver full virtual training and, for L&D. You can do skill set development. You can work on talent retention type of programs. You can have hybrid or fully online type of programs. Class can adjust to this. It's a supplement to the in-person activities, or it could be in parallel. That's up to you. We do not impose any methodology, but we provide our clients with the right level of technology and the expertise to support them in the way they prefer to work. What is extremely important for us at Class, where we have an entire department that's just devoted to design the platform itself. So people that are highly specialized in all the pedagogical aspects of, developing the areas of functionality that are good for education and corporate, sectors. We see that, not just us, there are a lot of studies out there that the engagement of the learner is key. It's key to have a higher level of success. If you have an online platform that can actually engage, with these learners, they can get less distracted, they can participate much more, they can interact with each other, then you're going to have a better impact. Learning is important, and again, it's not just our perspective, but you have a better retention. You learn better, also because you learn in different ways, right? You can pick it up here and there, but if you're just watching an online video of a lesson, it's very minimum, the impact. There is a study that we commissioned to Tripod in the US, And they took, 26 adult learners, they exposed them to different platforms, including class. And, and again, I invite you to download that. We can actually share it with you. It's on our website. But when we measure the level of engagement, because this is something that with class you can do, there is an entire section of analytics where you can actually measure the level of engagement. The engagement was very high, and then the results were definitely better compared to other platforms. And so, this is just to show that there already even existing studies on class that can prove that we can boost the engagement out there. So class is the next generation visual platform. We call it next generation because today, when we look at, we talk about online or hybrid, lots of institutions, lots of organizations, they still think in a very kind of flat way. It's video conference, it's one way. So I'm the instructor, you see my video, I share the content exactly as I'm doing now, period. So there is zero collaboration between myself and my audience out there. So this is good if I need just to present you something, but if I'm running a course where engagement is key, where there should be interaction, this is not the way to deliver it. So we need much more than a simple video conferencing solution. Class was built in partnership with Microsoft Zoom, as I mentioned. And in both cases, we have lots of clients that have been using Zoom or Teams, okay, so far. And then when they see class, they see that actually we have the answer to all that is missing today, actually, to transform a meeting tool, because Zoom and Teams are primarily meeting tools, into a virtual classroom, extremely interactive. Today, class is, it's 4 years old, and so we have more than, 1,400 customers, which accounts for more than 10 million users across 75 countries. We were able to grow very fast also through the acquisition of a business called Blackboard Collaborate, and now we have started migrating the Blackboard Collaborate clients to class. Class is, again, is the next level. It's the next level because you have everything in one platform. It's a single, it's a one-stop shopping solution, let's say. So if I'm an instructor and I need to run online or hybrid sessions, I will have to actually shop for different third-party tools, not just video conferencing tool. Well, a class has been designed to include, at native level, everything that I would need as an instructor. So I just jump on class, and whatever I need, to interact with my learners, to prepare and share my contents and everything in a live session, in a synchronous mode, I have it in class. We integrate with asynchronous tools. So asynchronous tools like learning management system, Blackboard, Moodle, and very popular actually platform in the corporate sector like Cornerstone, Docebo, 360 Learning. We have an integration at single sign-on level, and with some of them we have already developed an in-depth integration. And my colleague Carl will mention this more in details. We support. Let's say we are in compliance, with a compliance standard on a world scale. We comply with the GDPR for data storage and privacy in Europe, and we have the FedRAMP certifications. This is just to mention to you that your data is safe, that we comply with what are the international protocols, and this is extremely important, I guess, in particular for corporations. So class is built on Zoom and built on Teams, right? So we had these areas of functionalities. The areas of functionality are, primarily, let's look at 4 areas of functionality. So some areas that will increase the learning and the participation. So the instructor actually could share content, but not from his screen. He doesn't have to share his screen. There is a way actually to share it inside class or to pull it even from the learning management system. So you can have even your learners working live in documents. And, this is going to boost the participation and the collaboration and the learning and the engagement. You will see that you can keep them focus on files, focus on videos. You can actually even create quizzes, assessment, and share them and actually monitor them. Today, even if you're using a learning management system and then during your course, you want to test and see where they are, what they're doing, you cannot just ask them, hey, go to the LMS and take the quiz. But there is really no value on that because you don't know the identity who's taking, those quizzes and assessments, and you cannot monitor the way they do it. Today, we have even embedded a proctoring solution, it's a proctor view inside class. So basically, the instructor can launch an assessment and can see at the same time the video and the full desktop, seen, not getting access. That's how totally impossible. It's just visibility, which is extremely important. It's like walking, in a room and looking what your learners are doing, but you're doing that virtually. So we empower the instructors to do that. But you could also decide to divide your learners into different groups. So you have breakout rooms, and inside breakout rooms, you have advanced functionalities. And the analytics, we have a dashboard where you can actually extract the analytics. And again, I'm sure that Carla will show you something more in detail, but this is extremely important because you can see how effective you are, but at the same time, you can measure the participation, the attendance, and everything in just one click away. So the system is doing that. It's validating the digital identity. It has this single sign-on wherever you require it, to your LMS system, and it's tracking down this for one session and across all the duration of your courses. So again, in-depth integrations that is already available for some of them, even interactive playback, which is something important. You deliver your trainings and you know what? It happens that somebody can miss the session. So you can always tell them, hey, go back and watch the recording, right? But watching a recording is a very passive way to do things. There is zero engagement. We have introduced the interactive playback. So basically you can kind of, go back to the future, like in the movie, but actually you can have an active part in a recording. So if there are some activities done live, you can still perform them, through this. So this is going to give the chance to the people that missed the training live to actually recover and get those people engaged as well. Again, we are only 4 years old, but we have more than 1,400 clients, which is a lot of clients. We have them across, different sectors. We have more than 120 clients in the corporate, area. And, we have Volvo, we have Premier America, we have banks, logistics, we have GoDaddy. I mean, we have airlines company like Lufthansa that have standardized the training, using class. I mean, we have a lot of reference cases. Here, it's just important for me just to show you something, but if you go to our website, there is an entire section where our marketing team did a great job, with our customers giving their testimonial. So you see that, before using class, they have problems with engagement, they have problems with lack of functionalities. Once they have introduced class, everything is going to be much more engaging, much more effective. So the trainers are happier and the learners learn better. And, with this, what I mentioned with Lufthansa, for example, they had to comply with European Aviation Safety Agency type of regulations, right? And we had to actually pass very tough testing activities to make sure that class will be accepted for that. And we did it. We're in compliance with that. So class has now been introduced to train the staff. And, this is extremely important and serious, that there is something extremely important to do when you train for an airline company. Apprentify is actually a training company that, again, they had limitation with the systems. They had a lot of admin work, even to track the attendance, to try to get some analytics. After class, they were able to go get all of that directly from class. It reduces the administrative work. It can scale much better. And again, they can comply also with the local regulations, for the data and the way we treat that. So I want to stop it here, and because I can talk a lot about it, but I think it would be better to see a live demonstration of the product. So I'm going to stop now sharing my screen. I'm going to give it back to my colleague, Carl. Carl, up to you.
Thank you very much, Massimo. So hi everyone, my name is Carl. So I'll be taking you through the demonstration. I'll just want to share my screen. Can you confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes.
You should see a screen with a lot of people. Okay, so effectively, I'm going to take you through, sorry, I just need to turn off my camera in Teams so that I can actually utilize it in my class environment. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 different tabs. One would be the class demonstration. This is a simulation of a live class. So this is our sandbox environment. These aren't real users, so I don't expect any interaction from them. And I will also show you the administrator console, and so that we can see how we manage class from an administrator point of view. And then also we have I have class integrated with my learning management system, so that I can jump into and show you how easy it is to launch class from within a learning management system, and then also how we can populate our classes with our users and even content. So this is a sandbox environment that I have over here. But this is sort of what class would look like in a live environment. You would have your administrator over here, or your faculty, instructor, your teacher, whichever your naming conventions are, in the podium, sort of the spotlight area for your class. And just to break down the anatomy of what you're seeing over here, you have your teaching and learning tools and all your various features and functionality. Right at the top, you have your cameras for your users all on. So your users will be able to see. There you go. I'm online as well. So you'll be able to view and manage your users as well. And then also below my podium, I have my people as well. So you can have different menus right underneath the podium. You can switch to your list view for your people. You can put it on. And then you can also have your chat. So your chat is over there. I'll go through some of the features as well, or you can switch to your learning tools. So whichever one of the features you're using, it will display underneath your podium. And then also you can even maximize your screen if you want to focus on your students. You can slide your window to the left, and then you can slide out that window to the right again. So as you can see, it just expands. So this isn't the limit of my classroom. So I have more users than what you see over here. So as you can see, I've got pages pointing to the right. So I can just scroll through and view the rest of my class. And if I wanted to rearrange my class and how I want to see my users, I can always change the sheeting chart as well. So I can rearrange the sheeting chart whichever way I choose. The other options are participation. I can change it to the most recent speaker or hands raised, or all alphabetical by their first name or last name. So class has a lot of the management features. So I'm just going to switch my options back to my people. So in terms of class management, so in classroom management of your users, you are able to have various options. So you can chat to the user, mute, stop their video, you can give them stars, move them to the podium. So for example, if I want to hand over my class to another user, so for example, I'm going to take it away from Anne, and James is going to be in the spotlight. I would ask James if he can share screen or whichever content he's going to use. Then James can go ahead and move to the podium. So I also have various other options, changing a user, adding them to the presenting group, or changing their role entirely. So with different roles comes different permissions. I'm joined as faculty or instructor, teacher. Like I say, you can change the naming conventions even to something that's more custom for your institution or organization. So currently I'm using faculty. So as my main user, my instructor user. And so I can change the roles and make you an assistant. Assistant will have elevated roles, and then your default role would be a student. I can also have multiple cameras for my connected to my machine, so that I can have different views as well. If you can see, there's another faculty camera over there. I can move that one to the podium. And if I was actually teaching from a classroom and I had a blackboard behind me, I could have the focus on that one. I'm just going to keep Anne over there in my podium. Okay, so below the podium, I have the People's tab open currently. And the People's tab, I can also unmute and also have the same navigational menu. I'm just clicked on myself. The same menu that I have, if I click on the More option, I can also view the menu as I would have in the actual the camera view. So I can also see if the users are the action items and if they have hands raised. Hands raised and action items as well, you would see on the screen as well. So in the top left-hand corner, you will see their reactions. In the top right-hand corner, you will see if they have hands raised. Now, we have various learning tools available as well. So we can share the program, assignments, tests, and quizzes, surveys, polling. We can even jump straight into the learning management system from class. So if you are teaching a certain subject and you want to reference the content online for the asynchronous learning, you can jump into the learning management system from here as well. Now, the nice thing about class in terms of your learning engagement and learner focus is that everything happens inside of class. So when you're sharing an item, for example, your program or syllabus, you can set this up or offline. And when it comes time to share the particular items, all you have to do really is launch it. So I can populate my course or my class with the content that I require. And when it comes time during my lecture or teaching, all I have to do is launch it. Once launched, it all opens in separate tabs. So right below where the features and functionality are, right below that, you see the class logo, and all new items that are opened will open in a new tab. So as you see, I can also enlarge the screen. You will see the little previews of some of the users where you can scroll to the right and you can see the rest of the class. But I can also move that away and enlarge my screen. And as I mentioned before, I can enlarge it even further so that you can have a better view of the content. So I'm going to keep my instructor over there. And like I said, every new item launches in a new tab within class. So there's never really any need for your users to navigate away, or you will require them to open something on their end on their local machine. So everything that you open for them will open in a new tab, and they will be able to scroll and utilize it. So as long as it remains open on my end as the instructor or teacher, faculty, as long as I leave the tabs open, the users will be able to browse the tabs. As soon as I close it, it will close for the users as well. So some other items that we have is the assignments, tests, and quizzes. So for little activities. So in my sandbox environment, I've got a couple of tests available over here as well. So I can just go in and launch them. As I mentioned, I set them up offline, and then when I'm ready to utilize them inside my actual class, all I have to do is go to the launch option. And once launched, it opens in a new tab. So I can preview it, and I can do my test online. So that's some of the teaching and learning tools that we have available. There is many, many more, but due to time constraints, I can't really go in for each and every one. So the next one I want to show you is the class management. And in terms of from an instructor point of view and from a management point of view on a higher level, this is probably what would interest you. Now, you saw that I shared the human body test. So all those marks will go into your gradebook, which can be downloaded into a CSV or Excel format and imported into any third-party application that would obviously rearrange that information in the CSV and upload it. So in terms of an LMS, you can get that marks and upload it. Now, the tool that I do want to show you is we have attendance tracking. So Massimo did mention in his presentation some of the reporting that's available. So one of them is attendance. So you have your attendance tracking. Your attendance tracking will be able to tell you who is late, what time they were in, what time they were out, who's present and who's absent. So that, again, is all downloadable into Excel or CSV format. And then for a little bit of analytics, we have our dashboard. Now, our dashboard will give you averages of what's happening in terms of learning engagement. So you can see how much time faculty spend talking, or your student talk time in total. So over here, as you can see, I spent 50 minutes talking and the 32 minutes collectively for my students, which showcases a good level of engagement. There's hands raised and how much average time users spend talking. We can also drill down and view the user's details. So per user, I can see what the users were doing inside of that particular session. If you have multiple sessions, you can also go into the various ones and see how was my users engagement for last Thursday or the previous week's Thursday or the first Thursday, for example. So I have access to all those reporting. Again, all is downloadable as well, so you can send it on to management if you so choose. So the basic controls that you'll already be familiar with, I'm not going to spend too much time on, is raising your hand and how to react, sort of give a thumbs up to the content or not. And then we also have something that many will be familiar with, is the breakout rooms. So you can set up breakout rooms and assign your users manually, automatically at your discretion. Now, a feature that you won't see too often is our proctored view. So the proctored view allows you to proctor your users remotely. So you will start the proctored view, and what it would do, it would send a message onto the user screen saying you're about to be proctored. Do you accept? Do you say yes or no? So once the user accepts, so I'm just going to scroll to my users. Let's see. So there we go. So ULA accepted and Lindsay Rain accepted my proctored view. So I'll be able to see anything that they're doing on the entire screen. So side by side, I'll see their camera view and then I'll see their screen view. If I want to have a closer look at what you is doing, I can just click on the little icon in the top left-hand corner, and I will be able to view, and I'll be able to tell you where you're in the right place, wrong place, go here, go there, etc. So I'll be able to give instructional guidance for that particular user. I'm just going to end my proctored view. Then some other options, again, you'll be able to share your screen, entire screen or particular windows or any applications that you have open. Now, the next option is to collaborate. Now, not only are you able to upload and utilize or create items inside of class is already integrated with certain other technologies for ease of use. So your common technologies that you would use in teaching and learning. So, for example, web pages that you would like to use, videos, whiteboards. Now, as Massimo also mentioned, that this is next generation. So in next generation, in terms of functionality, for example, if I go into my videos, not only can I share a video and it will play inside of class for the user, when I launch it, I have an option to control the playback. So I can decide who controls the playback. So that's who clicks play, who clicks pause, who skips through. So either I keep the functionality for myself as faculty, instructor, or I allow students to use their own discretion and they can play the videos as they go along. Apologies for the play. Okay. Then we also have interactive whiteboards. Our whiteboards is also, again, next level. You can have two different types of whiteboards. You can have a group whiteboard, sort of like a collage that everybody contributes to, or you can have individual whiteboards where users would be able to have their own whiteboard and obviously only work on their own. So not only do we give them the ability to work on their own whiteboard, we can also decide if we found a user that has something interesting, we can present it to the rest of the class, and we can also import PDFs, etc., into the whiteboard. Okay, so that's just some of the functionality. I would like to drill a lot deeper into the functionality of class. or inside the classroom. But unfortunately, for time constraints, so I would have to stop over there. Then I also mentioned previously that we have an administrator console. So the administrator console is sort of your for your main admins. This is where they would control everything that happens in the class. As you can see, I have a full features list over here in my admin console. So I can decide what users are going to, or what instructors are able to use and not use. So if I decided they don't have access to assessments and they don't have access to assignments, because we do that in our LMS, as we don't want the users to use it in multiple places, then I can turn off that features, and users, no one in the institution would be able to use it. So that's just some of the things that we can do. And then also we can allow presentations, or we can decide who can override settings in the classes, and also turning on the recordings, whether we want it automatic or not. Now, I mentioned as well that we have terminology as well, so we can change the terminology to suit you. So as you can see, your instructor title can either be instructor. In the sandbox environment that I just showed you, I used it as faculty. So if you can change it to producer, teacher, trainer, whatever suits the terminology you utilize inside your organization. We also have integrations available, so you can integrate with your LMS, as I mentioned before. So just to show you, we've got extensive documentation on the different types of LMSs. So these are the more popular ones. And if I jump into my LMS, this is a Blackboard LMS. You can see I utilize class. I put it in a content area, so it's easy to just click button access. So I have a class for this particular course. So it would launch. So I can either put that link in the content area over there. All I have to do is join the classroom now. So content area, or in the main navigation menu of my course over here, I have class over there. So you can set placements wherever you feel would be most easy for the users to find as well. So inside my class example, we can also synchronize various items. So we can synchronize the roster. So any users that you have inside of your class or your course in the LMS will automatically be populated to the roster for the course. And then also we can enable content sync, so that your content will be visible inside of the class environment as well. The last options I want to show you is the classes and the users over here. So this is where you manage your users. You can add certain permissions to them, and then you can also remove users as you see fit. And you'll also be able to manage all the classes that are inside of your environment. So if you do have integration set up with the LMS, all the classes that launch, all the courses that launch class would display under this particular list of you. So you'll be able to have an overall management of your courses or classes that is active as well. So I'm just going to close up some of the items that I have over here. So those are some of the features and functionality for the class platform, the admin platform as well, and then some of the integration settings. So not only do we have the LMS integrations, but we also have collaborate integrations with other technologies already available, such as Microsoft OneDrive, YouTube, Vimeo, any web pages that you have, and then also presentations such as your PowerPoint presentations. So I'm going to stop over there and hand over to my colleagues one more time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Massimo. Thank you so much. That was a great session. We now move to the Q&A part of our webinar. And I see we already have 3 questions in our chat. The first one from Leonardo Wabembe. It says, hi, Carl. Can class cater for about 1,000 concurrent users. I guess Massimo can also answer that. Our second question, how does class manage attendance? Is there a roster capability for attendance tracking purposes? So I'll leave those two questions to either of you gentlemen, and then we'll move on to the last one. Carl, do you want to take the first one?
This.
Oh, Massimo.
I can start taking this before. Yeah. So regarding the number of concurrent users, we have some limitation given, the type of video conferencing tool that you're using. So for example, class for Zoom, if you're using Zoom, what is officially supported is 300 concurrent users. We're working to expand it, but at the moment it's 300 concurrent users. This means that you can launch one session with 300 concurrent users, but in parallel, you can have more sessions, each one with 300 concurrent users. If it is class for Teams, we officially support it to up to 350 concurrent users in a similar way. You can have parallel ones, right? But I can tell you that we have some clients that, although not officially supported, are using class for Teams with up to 500 concurrent users, and it works. But officially, we haven't stress tested this with 500 or more. So that's why we don't officially support it, but that's what is happening today. The other question,
the other question was from Gavin Hrobla, and he said, how does class manage attendance? Is there a roster capability for attendance tracking purposes?
Yeah, so depending on how you have implemented class, there could be two ways. If you do not use an external learning management system, so there is no integration with the learning management system, you can use class as a standalone product, right? So as a standalone product, you can have even batch upload of your users inside the classroom that you have created for a specific course. Inside that, my colleague Carl has actually shown this dashboard. And then there are other buttons over there where you can go granularly and see the data of each individual learner, and you can actually export it, download it. So basically, there is a way to easily export it. If you have class integrated with your LMS systems, then all your learners that you have created already uploaded into the different courses, they will not have to do anything else. The single sign-on when you jump on the LMS system will allow you, the same learner, the same student, will go to each one of the courses where is enrolled, and it will find in each one the specific virtual classroom for that course. Now, something that we haven't mentioned, but I hope it's clear. One of the key differences here, between, for example, class, and then you take Zoom, Teams, Google Rooms, and any others. It's that when you launch those video conferencing systems, every time it's pretty much a new one, right? When you launch class and you have a specific class, for assigned to a specific course, it's like giving virtual keys to open a virtual room, instead of the physical one where you have all your students, your learners, your material, you track down with the grade book, with the attendance book or whatever. You have it virtually. So it's always the same room for that specific course. That's why you have all the historical data tracked down through our analytics functionalities.
Grazie, Massimo. The third question we have is from Garabo Marule, and she asks, what other plugins does class allow? So within the Teams environment, what other plugins or any actually environment does it allow? Thank you.
That's a good question. Let's say that today, we have released class for Teams, right? So basically you have this integration, and because in your company you use Teams already, and you want to have an experience that is going to be just a smooth transition, right? So the interface actually that Carl was showing before was the interface of class for Teams. So you see that the bar with the functionality is on top, exactly as it happens in the basic team, right? So you have the functionalities over there, and we extend the functionalities. What we're working on, and we're releasing every month, new areas of functionality, we're working on a more in-depth integration into the Microsoft, let's say, ecosystem, actually. So for example, the ability to create groups, so teams in Microsoft Teams, right? And assign them directly to virtual classroom, created in class. So there is more and more integration that we're working on at that level. And then rather than plug in, we have areas of functionalities added at native level. Okay, so when I mentioned the product review, the analytics component, or an assessment, a quiz, an assessment generator. So with class, if you have your own assessment generator and offline you put the quizzes, you can transform that activities into a real-time live activity. But if you don't have it, you can use our internal assessment generator. You can create your data bank. So basically, what you can normally call, what additional tools you integrate is actually how more we expand at native level all the areas of functionalities that we have in class.
Thank you so much, Massimo. I have a question. Yeah. I know there's a certain airline that use class for Teams for their training. Can you give us an example of how they use it and who they use it to train?
Well, they use it, what I mentioned is actually Lufthansa Airlines, which is one of the most important ones in the world. We have others actually with piloting us, but basically they're using to train any type of stuff. We have the project with Lufthansa Technical Training Division. Okay. And, actually I attended to training that they did, a couple of them. It was just amazing. You see planes parts, that are running these trainings, just showing pieces, how to operate. So people that actually should be hands-on, they can deliver this type of training online. Obviously, even the staff that is supporting the passengers, but any type of training, and now they are expanding, across the organization because they see the flexibility, they see how easy it is to implement it. They see that with our initial training, and obviously, class delivers training also through our authorized, certified reseller, which is, OneConnect. So OneConnect is the primary partner for us. So the client across not just South Africa, but African countries can actually count on local staff, local assistance to also ramp up in the best way to extend the internal use cases.
Thank you so much. If there are not any more questions, I would like to close our webinar for today. And thank you very much, Massimo Gentili, GM, Europe, Africa, and Middle East at Class Technologies, and Carl Francis, Senior Solutions Engineer at OneConnect. And I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.